So today I'm basically going to be talking about what's called a grow conversation, or sometimes in the coaching world or the leadership world, you could call this a grow structure of setting goals. So grow stands for, so GROW would be what's the goal, what's reality, what's opportunity, and what's next. Does that make sense? So GROW. And it's a great little acronym you can remember. You can do this in your relationships. You can do this if you're on the committee at your neighborhood association. You can do this at work as a leader. You can do this in so many ways. I do this as a coach all the time. I actually use this all the time, just working with people and trying to get them to kind of like escalate their conscious to that visionary approach where there's less black and white thinking and there's more opportunities. There's more things and possibilities we could do to work on our current reality. So in saying that, goals, which we should all have, I've been one of those nerdy people over the years that's always watched Tony Robbins and read a lot of books and Zig Ziglar and all those personal development people, and it's helped me a lot. I have a tendency, it's funny because we're coming into summer and it's big and it's beautiful and it's bright out right now. I have a tendency to really grow a lot in spring and summer and have a lot of energy. It's just how my brain works. It's just how I've always been with moodiness. And then sometimes in winter, I kind of process things and I don't have as much energy or gump. And I think a lot of people are like that too. But when it comes to goal settings, we always want to be working on stuff. And there's front burner and there's back burner, but always tie your goals to your values and your purpose. First thing I'm ever going to do when I start a client conversation or if I go speak to people or if I work with a team is going to be what's the value set, right? I've been talking about mine for years, but they're, spirituality, family, integrity, creativity, and fun and enjoyment. So I want to structure my life around those values. I can't tell you how many times I've talked about that on Facebook in the last 3.5 or 4 years. So that's like my standard, right? Like, does this align with my goals? Also, your purpose or life purpose or your life mission and all these big, hippy-dippy life coaching terms, your purpose comes out of your values because you value what you are because the things that you do because that's who you are. So, for instance, a big value of mine, I love live music. So it's summer season. I'm going to a bunch of shows this year. That's something I don't want to miss out on. Every year I pick 4 or 5 shows, and I can look forward to that. And the nights are longer during summer, and it's a lot of fun, right? So that's a value for me. That falls into fun and enjoyment. Family's a big value for me. So one of the things I realized in my life was I would compromise family time or my energy that affected family time for other things, for work, or for lots of social activities that weren't really fruitful. So tie the goals to the values. Always tie your goals to your values. And integrity is a big one of mine. I mean, it should be for everybody, right? It's better if we tell the truth. It's better if we don't consciously or subconsciously deceive people to get what we want versus what's better for the whole. So when you set a goal, you've got to get really specific and make sure it aligns with your values first. So start with values, start with purpose. And you can do that by journaling. You can really do that through friend groups. Coaching is great, and working with a coach one-to-one or in a team setting or in a group setting is great, a peer group setting, but always be working through these things with other people. The people who know you, the people who love you based on your value set and how you live, and they're always there for you, those people will give you really good objective critiques of what's going on in your life. So always be talking about your goals, write about them, talk to people about them, and get excited about them. That's how you foster that kind of buzz or that sense of energy around a goal. So, set the goal, make it specific. You got to be able to measure it. So what are you really working on? Well, some of my goals right now are to really get the garden rolling this year, and it's off to a good start. I've got a couple of tomato plants that I'm worried about. So I've been, researching around, talking to people, old gardeners, and thinking about how I'm going to work on these tomato plants. So I have a big picture goal of my garden, my yard. I cut my grass every 4 to 5 days. My outdoor space right now with the trees, and I do a lot of yoga and meditation on my deck. Like, my outdoor space is a big deal. It's just a constant goal, and this is the season for me to be really working on that, And season after season, it builds up, right? Your outdoor spaces, the quality of your grass, the quality of your garden and your yields and the stuff you're trying to accomplish, just with my outdoor space. Then there's coaching work. There's all sorts of other things I'm working on right now. I've got some wellness goals. I'm taking a yoga and meditation course to become officially certified in meditation. Not that any of that is important. It's just good to connect with other people and learn a little bit more technical skill of how to teach meditation and breath work and whatnot. Working on perhaps doing some seminars this fall with some friends on breath work and meditation, coping with anxiety and whatnot. So right now, kicking around in my head, and I'm talking to people about this, I have a lot of goals I'm working for. We have family goals. We've been doing some remodel work, and our house is looking wonderful. We've been working on our starter home for like 15 years. And so I have a lot of goals right now. So set your goals, write about your goals, and talk about your goals and share them, right? So that's goal setting. Figure it out, specific. It's got to be measurable, and figure out when you want to accomplish it. I'm not really one of those people who's super time sensitive. It's like, I want to do X, Y, Z, and I want to accomplish it in 30 days, I'm just kind of a big picture, rock with it, have goals, have midterm goals, have short-term goals, and if things stop resonating or you don't have energy for them, ask yourself why. Either you don't want that, truly, you don't want it and you're not putting in the effort, or you don't feel worthy of it. And when it comes to worthiness, that's all about those deep conversations that are going to foster self-awareness, self-love. And you need a lot of people for that. You need family, you need friends, you need professionals. You need all of that to foster that sense of worthiness. And then back to values. Align it with your values. Why isn't this working? Why don't I have energy? And then save your energy for things that are value aligned and purpose aligned. And that's how you set goals. The R is for reality. And I'm a big fan of reality. And I know that in our cultural conversation, there's a lot of tension because we can't agree what reality is. We can't agree on these things. But you should at least be able to agree in your own terms, with your own autonomy in your brain, and with your friends and your family and your community or not, what is a good goal and what's going on in your life, right? The beauty of reality, and that's busting delusion, it's busting denial, it's getting rid of any magical thinking that helps us rationalize and soothe our life situation, our anxiety that may or may not be working for us. The beauty of reality, when we really just get out of our brains, get out of the subjective rationalizations, is what is objectively happening in my life? Because if I don't know what's really going on, one, I can't set an effective goal, and I can't measure it or figure out if it's a reasonable goal or even a doable goal. You will release so much tension and anxiety and stress from your life if you stop chasing things that aren't reasonable or that aren't even practical. You may want to go to grad school or get an MBA or climb the ladder, but if you have 2 children under age 5, this probably isn't the season to do that. Is it reasonable? No. Is it practical? No. Is it possible? Sure. But you have to ask yourself, what do I lose as I chase this? Am I going to lose a marriage? Or are my kids going to lose their childhood, their self-esteem? Are they going to be under a lot of stress? Because remember, any stress you and your partner have trickles down to everyone around you. It's like an energy, right? So is it reasonable and practical? And if it's not, you've got to be really honest with yourself. That's what reality is. And when you get really honest with yourself and you're having these really deep, just explorations into reality and bouncing things off people and professionals in different types of conversations, then you're going to know what's worth your time. So are we value-centered? And is this even practical and reasonable? Because if it's not, let's go do something else that's more practical and reasonable, because then we're actually going to get somewhere. We're actually going to accomplish something. So you have to get past the delusions. Sometimes this involves looking in the mirror and having some tough conversations, or listening to people. A lot of times, when people are telling us, this doesn't add up, maybe you shouldn't take that job, maybe we shouldn't make this purchase right now, whatever it is. If other people are giving you feedback or pushback on some stuff, you need to ask yourself, am I in touch with reality, or am I kind of BSing myself? Because you'll save a lot of time if your goals are tangible, measurable, practical, or reasonable. Then they can actually move forward, and you'll get some fruit. You'll get some yield, right? There's certain, as they say, sometimes the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So make sure there aren't diminishing returns on what you're trying to accomplish, right? So that's reality. Make sure you actually know what's going on. Make sure things are even possible, and if it's going to be worthwhile to chase this goal, right? The next is opportunity, right? So opportunity is endless. It's limitless. So we're always thinking about, what could I gain? or what resources are available to me, what social capital, what relationships are available to me, right? So this is kind of, sometimes you could talk about a quadrant called a pain gain model. And pain gain is, I've got a situation, stay in this job, go to this other job, stay in this relationship, leave this relationship, stay in this city, go to a new city, right? So it's, what do I keep by staying? I make note, what do I keep by not changing? And even if we're in a tough situation or we're not really feeling good about where we're at in life, there's a payoff to everything we do. So there's still something we're gaining. So we've got an idea, if I stay, I keep, but if I stay, FOMO, I miss out. Then if we switch, if we move to the new city, if we take the new job, if we decide to leave a relationship or, end a friendship or something, whatever, any kind of relationship, then so if I go, what can I gain? And also, what will I lose? So if you think about it, most of the time you're going to lose what you would have kept if you stayed, but you'll gain what you would have missed out on if you stayed. So always look at that pain gain model, go back to your value set, go back to practical and reasonable, and be thinking, what is the opportunity here? Going back to my second talking point, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze? And if it is, and it's on value and it's on purpose, go for it. I teach people green means go, yellow means be cautious, red means stop, right? So you need to know yourself well enough. You need to have enough of that autonomy work and really know your values and be in relationship with people who understand and appreciate your values to say, something don't add up here. Remember, if it seems like too good to be true or it seems like there's scarcity or I've got to do this now, just remember that could be a red flag. If there's red flags, stop. Caution is okay, that yellow zone. It just means that maybe I should take some time to think about this. Always think about it, bounce it off other people, and do the sleep test for a couple of nights. When you wake up in the morning, do I still want to do this? Because if other priorities start to pull you away or seem better off, that could be a sign that consciously and intuitively you're not totally bought in. And never do things that you're not totally bought into. That's something I've learned in my own life as I've grown up and hit middle age. Because at the end of the day, you've got to live with your decisions. Personal responsibility is a big deal. And if we don't take personal responsibility, we're going to wind up back in magical thinking, denial, delusion, rationalization, and we're not going to move forward with goals that just make us happier, right? So when it comes to opportunity, green, yellow, red. Is this what I want to do? What could happen? And you should have green relationships. You should have green hobbies, green skills, meaning if this comes up, I'm going for it. If I have the opportunity to meet with this person, I'm going to do it. If I have the opportunity to take this client or take this job, or if something comes up or whatever it is, maybe it's to play in a band, play in a cover band, whatever it is, a hobby, a travel, a trip. If something comes up and I know it's on value and on purpose, I'm going to jump on that. And that's a green opportunity. And sometimes there's slow down stuff. A lot of times there's not now. Maybe later, but not now. And that's yellow. And then, of course, there's red light, danger, danger, stop. This isn't good, because it's either a poor opportunity or it's the wrong people, or it's going to compromise your integrity. And if you're an integrity person, you're a big heart-centered person like me, that ain't going to work for you. And the final thing is, what's next? So let's say I've determined, I know what the goal is, I know what my reality is, so I know that this is practical, it's reasonable, it's possible, I know my opportunity, this is a green opportunity, then what's next, right? And as we say, NTA, next tiny action, everything structures out, right? So if I've got what needs to happen 90 days from now, what needs to happen in the next 30 days, and what needs to happen today. The biggest thing that sets people back is they'll get into that rationalization trap or the projection trap. They're going to blame people or circumstance, right? Complain, criticize, or blame, and they can't move forward, right? Most of the time, I say low-hanging fruit, right? There's stuff right in front of you. You could absolutely get a yoga workout in today. You could go do a cold plunge or a hot soak or a sauna or something. You could go for a hike. You could call that friend that you love to talk to and you're not making time for. You could have lunch with a friend. You could call your mom. You could go fishing, right? When it comes to relaxation or self-care goals, relationship goals, business goals, because all business goals are about relationships, connecting with people. So there's usually low-hanging fruit, but we're not going to have any energy or drive to move forward if we're projecting or we're avoiding, right? So remember, what's the low-hanging fruit? What are the things you could do in the next 30 minutes to get you rolling? Even if that's to write it down, to commit to it, to send an email, to gather the team, to say this is how we're going to carry forward, to go and ask for help if you're a line or a middle, to go to the director. How is this on mission? Does this work? So there's low-hanging fruit, and that's going to come into the W, the what's next. So I hope you enjoyed some of this. Like I said, I haven't streamed in a while. I'm going to throw this up on YouTube. I haven't really done a ton with the podcast, to be honest. I've been just doing a lot of these episodes on the fly, and booking the guests is a lot. The camera work, the editing's a lot. I'd like to do some of that this summer. I think I might have some partnerships doing that with some editing and whatnot, doing the stuff that I'm not as good at. And so lately here this summer, I'm really planning on being in my zone of genius more, which is outdoor, teaching meditation, connecting with people, family. I'm going on a writer's weekend in July, where I'm going to go down into Eureka Springs, into Arkansas, into the mountains, and spend a weekend in a cabin with some other dudes, and we're working on books that we want to publish in the next year to 18 months. So I'm really sticking in my zone of genius, which is speaking and writing, and blogging and whatnot. So in saying that, thanks for tuning in. If you want to get in touch with me, just send me a DM. Or go to adamstevenscoaching.com. If you go to adamstevenscoaching.com, you can click contact, and if you want to do a consult, I do a free 90 minutes with everyone. You can connect with me if you want to do one-on-one. If you want to do team, just click contact and fill out the form and tell me you want to do team coaching. If you're a small business owner, if you want to do a lunch and learn, whatever, to talk about goal setting, relationships, communication strategies, workplace culture. Or you can click on ebook. If you want a free resource, click on the ebook tab and fill out that form, and you'll get an automated email. You'll immediately get my ebook, which is called Who Are You? How to Overcome Burnout by Leveraging Your Core Values. So it's all about that value-based work and leveraging that to move beyond burnout. So really, my brand as of late has been helping people, I say, recover from burnout and find the calm and the balance you're really craving. So, and I do that across 4 domains. I've been working on this a lot and kind of restructuring the way I'm working. And what I know works for people is going to be core values, time management, self-care and wellness, and then mindfulness, right? So it's the total package of how burnout on a personal level, is usually about violating our boundaries and violating our values. If you're in a place where you're not on value and on purpose and on mission, so much of your energy will go to waste because you'll have to focus on things that aren't aligned, and that will just suck all the energy and life out of you. It's going to change the way you relate to people. You're always in a mirror, so if you're angry at someone or someone across on a team, another leader, whatever it is, it's always because you're seeing the anger and the defects and the problems externally and externally, and it's because of what's going on you internally. So if everybody in a culture or in your family life or whatever, in any kind of life, any kind of structure or group of people, you're going to get what's internal, and you're going to present your ego in a different way, and things get super dysfunctional. And that's okay. Everybody has dysfunction. None of us are perfect. I always say we're all really screwed up people just trying to grow up, just trying to do the best we can. So foster that sense of humility, get vulnerable, get real with a bunch of people around you, set some good goals, and have fun this summer, man. Thanks for checking out. Like I said, adamstevenscoaching.com. Go learn more about me. Thanks.